Cheers, I do roots, and how the heck are you? Back for one more cocktail anyway. Let me get this fixed here real quick, and I'll be right back with you. So I want to do a version of a Manhattan. Try to stay pretty close to true. I've been experimenting with different things other than a sweet vermouth. But I did add the sweet vermouth back to this one because I just bought a new bottle, so I know I've got good fresh sweet vermouth here. Oops. There we go. We're back in business. Anyways, so let me show you what I've done here. I didn't realize I was out of cherries, right? I bought more cherries while we were out. So I don't have my typical dark cherry garnish, which I always have for a Manhattan. So, but I am using that candied ginger to kind of change it up to make it more of a fall Manhattan. That and I've decided to use these toasted almond bitters. So I've got this. So that's kind of why the garnish sort of makes sense. So I'm using the ginger garnish, which because I don't have cherries, I will have to get some though. But you get toasted almond. I hadn't seen these before, or the cardamom. Then I picked up the cranberry as well. I'm gonna let those cranberries sit there until we get closer to Thanksgiving. That'll make a perfect Christmas Manhattan and old fashioned. Anyways, using a smaller glass, it may not look like it, but that's 2 ounces of the whiskey. 2 ounces. I decided to use, even though there are some sticklers to a Manhattan, say you have to use rye. I disagree. Use whatever you want. It's kind of why I say sometimes a Manhattan inspired cocktail. But anyway, I wanted to see what this whiskey would do to it. Union Horse Distilling out of Lenexa, Kansas, American single malt whiskey. It's at 96 proof. This whiskey is just insanely good. So I've got about 2 ounces of this whiskey, about a quarter ounce of sweet vermouth. I know that's a little bit less than most people like to use, but again, for me, that's a better balance. And then a few dashes of those toasted almond bitters. That's why I thought this little glass would work, because it's got the right shape for a Manhattan. It's probably actually more of a cordial glass, but it does hold more than it looks. God, that nose is insane. And those toasted almond bitters really work with the dankness of that Rivalist whiskey. Oh man, man, that is gorgeous. It seems odd when I say this, but this whiskey almost gives you these chocolate-like notes, right? Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I just want to try something different. I like this, stray from the obvious sometimes. Some people want to use specific whiskeys or only buy the names that they know. And if you look at the collection that I have, I try to stay away from it. Other than the piggyback here, which the reason I bought the piggyback is I'm getting low. I've had this for about a year now. Uh, I bought it at a big box store for about 37 bucks. At every liquor store in town, it runs about 50, which is why I bought it. But I love the Rivalist, the Lifted Spirits, uh, Restless Spirits, Gully Town. I try to buy as small as possible. I try to do whiskey and wine the same way I do beers. I think people, especially whiskey folks, really just drive me crazy because they get so fixated on specific brands. But even folks that are craft beer drinkers that understand buying small seem to forget it completely when they're talking about whiskey, right? You have to, I have to have this. I got to get this one. You don't. But I just encourage folks. I think the smaller distillers, in my opinion, are doing better whiskeys than the big guys. But I mean, the marketing for those big guys is so strong, especially when something is allocated. Because whiskey folks are like lemmings. As soon as you allocate a whiskey, they might have not bought that whiskey for a decade. They might have actually said they hate that whiskey. But as soon as somebody allocates a whiskey, those whiskey folks are like lemmings. All of a sudden, they have to buy it. Right? So I try to be the exact opposite of that. I try to find the small distillers whenever I can. And most of the whiskey I have on hand is that. I try to stay away from the names everybody knows for the most part. Oh gosh, that's delicious, man. I've been dying to have an actual Manhattan because I haven't. I know I needed some new vermouth, so I did pick some up over the weekend. But I've been dying to try these toasted almond bitters too, and I thought about doing it in the old fashioned I did earlier, but with the ginger, I really wanted to use that cardamom. What I want to do though is I want to pick up some almond stuffed olives to do a martini and just add just a little bit of those toasted almond bitters as well. But got to put the right, takes a little bit to put that right drink together. You gotta try. You gotta want it. You gotta want it, baby. You gotta want it. Anyway, I digress. Oh man, that is just delicious. I do like that candied ginger. I tell you, man, I just add something here. It's a little bit different. I kind of wanted to put a cherry in here. I didn't realize. I thought I still had some, but didn't realize I was out. Uh, but the ginger works, man. Ginger works, baby. Ginger plays. The ginger plays. To borrow from the Oceans trilogy, the ginger plays. Anyway, anyway, I digress. But I digress, man. Man, that's delicious. Gotta tell you, it's really put me in a good mood too. Because I was tired, man. It's a long ass day for an old fat man, but boy, I can relax, take it easy. I do work tomorrow, but I don't have to go until 4, so I can, sleep in a little bit. Although my body usually has me up at 7 at the latest. You got to get up at 2:46 to pee. Anyway, the hazards of getting old. Got to take the good with the bad. Anyway, anyway, I digress. Logic. Trying to check something here, make sure I got this set up right. Starting to wonder myself if I did that right. I got it. Hey. Who knows? Anyway, so I hope I got it right. I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have, I guess. There we go. Anyways, yeah, it is working. Okay. I was doubting myself for a second, but I guess I said anyway. Just so you know, I'm not really in this little jazz pub behind me. I'm just trying to set a mood. I'm not trying to fool you. It's like sometimes the shows you watch, I'll have a green screen. It's kind of what I'm doing here. Anyway, I digress. Man, that's delicious, though. That's really good. I haven't used actual sweet vermouth for so long. I had to remember what it tasted. It's been a minute, but yeah, I knew I needed a fresh bottle. So I picked one up over the weekend. So now we can do this. Oh. Ah. My bad. Anyways. Cheese whiz and bacon. My last cocktail of the evening. But I really want to do a Manhattan as well. I just wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it at the same time. So that's why I set up 2 separate videos. so you don't have to look at me for quite so long. Right. God, that Rivalist. I love this whiskey. And it really is a whiskey that should be drank neat. I just wanted to really try it as a cocktail in a whiskey forward cocktail. I mean, I would never put a whiskey like this in a highball or hide it with fruit juice or anything else. But in a cocktail like this, a Manhattan, especially where the whiskey really matters, you can't put a cheap whiskey in a Manhattan because it's going to taste like a cheap Manhattan. You really got to use a good whiskey because you're going to taste all you're adding to this whiskey is the sweet vermouth and the bitters. So you really need a good quality whiskey if you're going to do it right. Man, that is something. I haven't made myself an actual Manhattan for so long. I've been using port and cream sherry, which I enjoy, to be honest with you. But having a good quality and fresh uh, sweet vermouth really kind of makes a nice drink too. This ginger, man, wow. I may start doing that all the time. So coming from now to the end of winter, I'm going to have a ginger in every cocktail. Right, be my garnish for every cocktail from here on out. I really like it, man. That candied ginger is just gorgeous. Because it does add to some aromatics as well. It does add a little sweetness because it's candied ginger, so that sugar on the outside does kind of melt into the drink, right? Oh, that is delicious, though. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to have to wrap this up because I'm getting tired. Ah. I hoot a deep sigh there, Tom. It's been a long ass day. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I appreciate you.